Pre-algebra, lesson 29, graphs. We're going to be going over multiple different types of graphs, but there are some consistencies amongst graphs. The main one being that every graph should have a title, and the title is going to tell you what information you can get from the graph. Once we understand the title and how to properly label our graphs, then we start talking about the different types and then how to measure the graphs. So our first two main types, we have bar graphs and then we have broken line graphs. They both are very, very similar in that the title's on top and they're both set up into a plane system format where you've got one axis counting up, one axis counting left and right, and we have information set equal distances apart, right? So if we look at this bar graph, we can see there's a scale here in that the distance from 0 to 100 is the same distance from 100 to 200. So there's consistency in the spacing. And then we also have this axis is labeled. So this is number of cars. This one is months, or not months, but the month. So we can see here that in January they sold halfway in between 0 and 100 cars. So that means they probably sold 50 cars in January. Here we see we're halfway in between 100 and 200, so that's 150. Here in March they sold exactly 100 cars, and then in April we go up and we're halfway in between 300 and 400, so that means 350. That's how we pull information off of the graph, and that's how the graph is ordered. The broken line graph is very, very similar. We can see the exact same information but on a different graph, and we see here that the difference is the points are on specific lines of the graph, and the broken line graph connects these points, so we can see the trend from month to month if it's going up or down. It's got a definite line showing the difference between the months. Okay, so those are the first two types of graphs. The last one, or the next one we're going to see, is a pie chart, right? So pie charts, again, they have titles, right? And then each section has its own title, and now in the pie chart each section is proportionately sized to the total. So the $5 slice of fruits, that is this exact size of $5. So if I take the $2 slice and the $3 slice and we put them together, they're the exact same size as the $5 slice. So that's how the pie charts are proportionate, and that the sizes are roughly showing you the amount compared to the total. So that's a good thing that you can get from pie graphs. Now, universally, we need to be able to pull information off of our graphs to answer questions, and that's what we're going to see in our practice problem. Our practice problem says that in this graph, what is the average number of type B cars sold in the 3 years shown? So what we see here is this graph is called annual car sales. So I'm going to find out how many cars were sold each year. This left axis is the number of cars, and this axis is the year. Now I notice on each year I have 3 bars, and they want to know number B cars. Okay, so number B cars are here, 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 and they want the average of the type B cars. So first thing I need to do is get the information off the graph from the 3 years. So in 1960, I see that this sold 40 cars. Wait, is that actually 40 cars? No, we have to look at this axis. This is number of cars in thousands. So in 1960, they actually sold 40,000 cars. So when I go to my work paper, first thing I'm going to put, I've got 1960, 40,000 cars. Now we need to find the other year for B cars. Next year is 1970. And it looks like the B cars is 20 or 20,000. So I've got 1970, 20,000 cars. Cool. And the last one, 1980 is halfway in between 20 and 40, so that's going to be 30,000. So now I've got 1980, and that's 30,000 cars. Now, what was the problem asking for? They want to know what is the average number across the 3 years. So it's back to a good old average problem. I'm going to add all 4 of these numbers together, then divide them by 3. 40,000, 20,000, 30,000. Add them all up. 0, 0, 0, 0. 4 and 2 is 6. 6 and 3 is 9. 90,000. So then I have to take 90,000, divide by 3. 3 goes into 9 evenly 3 times. And then I am just going to have 0, 0, 0. So 30,000. So 30,000 B cars. And that will be my final answer. That's really all there is for this lesson, learning how to read graphs and then knowing the different parts of graphs so you can make your own. If you have any questions, let me know on the school website, and I will see you in class.